Hi, kindergarten. It's Miss Cliff. Today we are going to read a level H book called Club Monster. First, I want to start off by defining the word club. What is a club? Well, a club is a group of people that share a common interest. So maybe a sports club, maybe a Boy Scout troop, that's a club, or a Girl Scout troop, that's a club. Maybe you might be in a book club. There's all sorts of clubs, and those are people that share a common interest. So we are going to read Club Monster. Today we're going to be talking about predictions. Good readers make predictions or guesses about what will happen in a story. Making predictions can help people make decisions, solve problems, and learn new information. So if I was going to make some predictions about what is going to happen in the story, I could look at the front cover for some clues to make a guess. Now, my guess is that I see 4 monsters making scary faces. Now, normally when I read books about monsters, they're silly books, but I predict that because they're making scary faces, maybe they won't be silly monsters, maybe they'll be scary monsters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and I'm going to go over to my predictions chart. If you have your predictions chart in front of you, I need you to get a pencil and then we're going to fill it out together. Ready? After looking at the cover, let's make a prediction. I predicted that this story is going to be about scary monsters. So on the top where it says, after looking at the covers, I predict this story will be about, I am going to write my prediction. I want you to pause the video and make your prediction now looking at the front cover. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. You can have a different prediction or it can be the same. So pause the video and go ahead and make your prediction now. I predict that the story will be about 4 scary monsters. All right, now that we have our prediction, let's go back to the front cover. Today, we're also going to be working on making inferences. Sometimes the author doesn't tell us everything that happens in a story. Usually, the information the author gives is enough for us to guess the part that the author didn't give us. When a reader fills in the missing information, it's called making an inference. So here's an example of making an inference. If I was inside the classroom and all of my students arrived at school and they were wearing raincoats and rain boots and were carrying in umbrellas and they were wet, what do you think the inference would be that I would make? The inference that I would make is that it's raining outside, even if I couldn't see out the window to see if it's raining. By collecting all of that information and putting it together, I can infer that it's raining based on everything I see my students wearing and bringing inside with them. So today we're also going to be making some inferences as we read. Club Monster. I'm going to read first, and then I want you to read after me. Ready? It is summer. School is out. The sun is hot. Now I want you to go ahead and read that back to me. Go. All right, let's go on to the next page. What should we do? Asks Lurk. Bonk has an idea. All the cool monsters have a club, says Bonk. Now you go ahead and read. So I'm already starting to see some characters, right? I heard Lurk talking. I'm going to infer that Lurk is the one that has the L on his shirt. And I'm also going to infer that Bonk is this character, the one that has the idea, because he's the one kind of raising his hand, and him and Lurk look like they're talking to each other. The monsters join a garden club, but Lurk steps on the flowers. Snag sneezes and sneezes. I forgot something, Snag says. Gardens make me sneeze. All right, I want you to go ahead and read it back to me. Go. Now, if you notice, I highlighted some of the beginnings of the words. Can you look at all of those yellow highlighted words? And can you guess why I did that? What's the same about all of those words? They're blends that begin with S. Good job. So in this book, there's going to be lots of S blends. I want you to keep an eye out for all of those S blends and count them up when you see them. So right here I see st, sn, 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 sn. So there's lots of S blends in this book, and I want you to keep track of them. Now I want to stop on this page and make an inference. Where are Bonk and Uzzle? Those are the other monster characters. We only see Lurk and we only see Snag on this page. Can you make an inference for where they are? Let's pause the video and turn and talk to a parent or sibling to infer where are Bonk and Uzzle. Remember, an inference is filling in the missing part that the author didn't give us. So the author isn't telling us where Bonk and Uzzle are. We just have to infer. Now, the first sentence here says, the monsters join a garden club. So it says monsters. So I'm going to infer that all of them are there in the garden. The picture is just not showing us all of the monsters. It's only showing 2 of the monsters. So I infer Bonk and Uzzle are at the garden club as well. We just can't see them in this picture. Let's keep reading. They join a travel club. Uzzle gets lost in the airport. Bonk is seasick on the boat. Now I want you to go ahead and read it back to me. Go. Now let's check our predictions. When I first made my prediction on the front cover, I said, I predict this story will be about 4 scary monsters. Now, I want to go back and check if my prediction was true or not. I don't think that the book is about 4 scary monsters. I do think that it's about 4 monsters. So what I'm going to do now is predict what will happen next. I want you to pause the video and turn and talk with a parent or sibling to make a prediction about what you think will happen next. Go ahead and do that now. I predict that they will keep trying out clubs, and maybe the monsters will have a hard time finding a club that they want to join, because so far the information I have is that the garden club did not work out and the travel club did not work out. So I think that they might have a problem finding a club they want to join. So that's my prediction. I want you to pause the video and fill out your prediction chart. Go ahead and do that now. Now that you've filled out your prediction chart, I'm going to fill out mine. What I predict will happen next is the monsters will have a hard time finding a club they want to join. So that is my prediction. Let's keep reading to find out what happens next. They join a hiking club. Hiking is hard, says Snag. Are we there yet? Uzzle asks. Now your turn to read it back to me. Go. Let's make an inference about Uzzle. I know Uzzle is this character here in the picture. What do you know about Uzzle? And what do you infer he means when he says, are we there yet? What is he really trying to express? Pause the video and turn and talk with a parent or sibling about what you infer Uzzle is trying to express, or any other inferences you have about Uzzle. Go ahead and do that now. The inference that I make about Uzzle is that when he says, are we there yet? He's not really asking, are we there? He looks like he's kind of whining in the picture. Like, are we there yet? Because he doesn't want to keep hiking. Have you ever said that when you're riding in the car with your mom and dad? So I infer that Uzzle does not like hiking because he's sounding kind of whiny to me. What do you think? Yeah. All right, let's keep reading. Let's make our own club, says Bonk. What should we call it? Asks Lurk. Let's call it the Very Scary Monsters Club, says Bonk. Now you go ahead and reread that to me. Go. All right, let's find out what happens next. Time to practice our scary faces, says Bonk. Oh, I just want to stop and point out, this is the same picture as the front cover. Did you notice that? They look in the mirror and make scary faces. Then they hide under the bed. That was too scary, says Bonk. Now you go ahead and reread this page back to me. Go. Nice reading. Did you find any more S blends? I see sk right here. I see sk right here and sk right here. Good job. Let's keep reading. They try to pick a secret password. What about Fluffy? Asks Lurk. Or chicken? Asks Snag. Those are not scary passwords, says Bunk. Your turn to read. Go. Nice job, reader. Let's keep going. The monsters look for a clubhouse. Snag has a big box. We can fit if we squeeze together, says Snag. Now your turn to read. Go. Great job. I see some more S-blends. Are you tracking those S-blends? Nice work. The monsters squeeze into the box. I'm squished, says Uzzle. I'm squashed, says Snag. The box rips. The monsters fall on the ground. Look at all those S-blends. Now it's your turn to read. Go ahead. Nice job, reader. If you notice this word here, squished and squashed, look, it's the only thing that's different is the vowel in the middle, right? Squished, squashed. So make sure you're paying attention to the whole word that you read so that you're not saying, I'm squished, I'm squished. You want to make sure you pay attention to each letter in the word while you read. Nice job. Let's keep going. We do not have a clubhouse, says Bonk. We do not have a secret password, says Snag. We do not have a name for our club, says Uzzle. Your turn to read. Go. Now that we've finished reading, let's check our predictions. Let's go back to our predictions chart. Now, remember, I predicted that what would happen next is the monsters would have a hard time finding a club that they wanted to join. Did they have a hard time finding a club they wanted to join? Yes. Then they decided to make their own club, didn't they? Is it going well for them? Not really. It's not really going well. Let's keep reading and find out what happens next. The monsters sit in the hot sun. Sweat drips off their faces. Just then, they hear music. The ice cream truck is coming. All right, I want you to go ahead and read to me. Now, how do you think the story will end? Let's make some predictions about how you think the story will end. Let's go back to our predictions chart. Now I want to predict about how the story ends. So let's pause the video. I want you to turn and talk with a parent or sibling and make a prediction about what you think will happen next and how the story will end. Go ahead and do that now. I predict, because they hear the ice cream truck coming, that maybe next they're going to get some ice cream. So I am going to write that on my predictions chart, and I want you to pause the video and write your prediction on your predictions chart. Go ahead and do that now. I'm going to fill out my predictions chart now too. I predict the story will end by the monsters getting ice cream from the ice cream truck. Now that we've filled out our predictions, let's go back and finish up the story. Lurk buys a snow cone. Uzzle buys a freeze pop. Bonk buys an ice cream cone. Snag buys a slush. Now your turn to read. Nice work, reader. Did you find any more S blends? I see sn here. I also see sn and soul. Let's keep reading. A club is not the only thing that can make us cool, says Bonk. It's not? Asks Lurk. Ice cream works even better, says Bonk. Uzzle, Lurk, and Snag agree. Your turn to read. Was your prediction correct? My prediction was that they would eat ice cream. So my prediction was correct. Now remember, it's okay if your prediction is not correct. What's important is that you're using clues from the text and the pictures to make a guess. Nice job today, readers. What we're going to do now is we are going to practice making inferences, which we practiced a little bit throughout our book today. So let's head over to our inferences page. This is what you're going to do for the writing portion of this lesson. You are going to practice making inferences. Now we know that inferences are filling in the missing information that the author doesn't give us. So here you see some pictures and sentences, and you are going to write a sentence about what you can infer about that picture and sentence. This is going to be your assignment for this lesson, and you are going to submit it into Google Classroom. I hope you had fun with this lesson today. Great job today reading. Don't forget to go back and reread because that's what good readers do. And I will see you next time, friends. Bye.